Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a new season here in the Gwent world, Season of the Cat. Don't you worry, we're going to be bringing lots of fun content, but I want to start off with a new deck, one that I developed yesterday in anticipation of this patch. This deck revolves around Letho being one of the new adds here. So this is a Witcher's deck. It is kind of weird to operate, but really fun. Can utilize Hyper Thin, but we're using Viper Witchers, Hunting Pack, and Imperial Brigade as our bronze core. And then kind of truly mid-ranging the deck with Ciri Nova, Pathfinder, Evo, Offen, Fifion, and then we've got Letho, Ox, and Seret, plus Menno and Artorias. And we'll walk you through exactly how this deck can work, but Trial of the Grasses is one of my favorite cards. I find it to be exceptionally valuable. I think that if you can get Ciri out early enough, this deck is very competitive. Cadaverine helps to deal with a lot of the row spam that we've been seeing last season, and I think we're going to continue seeing this season. The one thing this deck is missing that feels like it's already auto-include is Karathi Heatwave, but we can't use that with Ciri Nova, so we are where we are. But I really wanted to kind of showcase these Witchers, let you guys see exactly what's going on. For those of you joining on Twitch, I am just shooting a video here of this new deck. I think we'll just call this, maybe we'll call it like Cat Witchers. But Season of the Cat update. It was very unfortunate for Nilfgaard. Lots of nerfs and not a lot of real buffs. Getting queued into Skellige isn't the way you want to start this new season, but you know, it's fine. I think Patricidal Fury is my recommendation. That's the way I would go. We get Artorias to hand. We want to get out Imperial Brigade, and we want to get out Hunting Pack. Because we have this marching orders, this is going to draw Fifion, and then if we get Fifion to hand, it will draw Menno. So I'm going to target that as my redraw, and we'll get rid of these other cards. We get Menno to hand, so now we can target Fifion. That's great. But when we use Menno, we can use Menno to tutor out one of these tactic cards, either for removal, which looks like it's what it's going to be now, or you can use Tourney Joust for the boost as well. Okay, this is fine. So I think here we will go ahead and get out. In fact, let's just use Tourney Joust here, force our opponent to develop some stuff first. But one thing about this deck, so I do think Hyper Thin is the way to go, in large part because you need Seret and Ox in hand in order for Letho to be to have the most value. Okay, this is fine. We're gonna go ahead and grab Assassination here. Menno does get damaged, but I think we end up okay. I would be surprised to see this on-crate Raider wipe Menno off the board, but it is a better than 0% chance. But Letho, for those of you who aren't aware, used to be 6. He's now 8 for 8. And then if you have Ox in your hand, he'll lock unit. If you have Seret in your hand, he'll damage unit by 3. So I find, at least for point value, he is most important. Alright, our opponent here continuing to up the pressure, but we do get a Veiled unit here, so we can go ahead and use Hunting Pack. We get them out. That's great value for us. But yeah, I'm trying to film a video and stream on Twitch at the same time for my lunch break. So just kind of going through some of these Nilfgaard changes. And for those of you who don't follow on Twitch, Twitch is where we let the true spiciness come out. I had already kind of pre-tested this deck yesterday. Was excited for some of these changes, but I think the true spiciness comes out on the other days. So the question now here is how far, how deep do we want to go? Because our opponent does have passive damage ticking here, it is likely a Bloodthirst deck. I'm pretty happy with passing. We have Ciri to hand, and then we'll target Artorias either with Menno or often Hillergrand for next round, depending on how hard our opponent wants to bleed us. But I think we can actually maintain card advantage and get Ciri out. So we'll just have to play patiently that way. We need to be careful of Champion's Charge against Ciri, as it is a pure destroy. Peter is not nearly as valuable this game, but Imperial Brigade is the one card we really want to make sure to get out of here. And then Viper Witchers are quite valuable in round 2 to try to get rid of some of the stuff in deck. As we may see a Blood Eagle come out. I don't think we've seen one yet. Indeed, we have not yet seen Blood Eagle, but it would not surprise me to see that soon. But we can use Menno to kind of target to get maximum value out of our cards. We're still missing a lot of draws here, but we really need to get Serraton Ox. But Imperial Brigade is my topmost priority. But we're going to go ahead and just get rid of that drawn Berserker. Don't want him transferring into a 6-point unit. I don't want that perpetual damage to come. Although this does put a drone Berserker himself into the graveyard so that he can be resurrected using Harald on Crate. On Crate Warrior here falling flat. Kind of beginning to wonder what our opponent's plan is here. But we can take the lead point-wise by playing Viper Witcher. Svalbard Totem is an excellent find. And I do like to get down to 7 cards before I use Menno, just so we get the maximum value out of the cards. But because our opponent here has just opted to pass, I think we'll pass as well and take the extra draw. Just gives us a little bit of cushion. Skamegalal is always kind of a pain to play against, but especially on blue coin in round 3. So we do get Trial of the Grasses, we get Eskel. I guess the biggest misplay I had there was not playing Ciri. I should have played Ciri. I don't know why I didn't. Sometimes you're just making dumb choices. Now, we are going to cycle these back in. I'm not going to worry too much about seeing the Imperial Brigades quite yet, because we're just going to put those back with Leader. But seeing as we saw it again, we'll go ahead and cycle it back. So once we get those out, our tactic marching order is going to call out Viper Witcher, so that's just something to stay aware of. Here I'm going to go ahead and get out Fifion. Then we can put down Evo. But sometimes when I'm filming, and especially when I'm filming and streaming, I tend to make poor choices. You guys get to watch these videos. You get to watch me on stream to watch me make dumb choices and then not make the same ones yourselves. So I'm here sacrificing for the team. Now here we could use one of those locking cards. It would be quite nice to have. But given that we don't have one, we're going to go ahead here and just pull up... Sorry, I'm just thinking for a second. Okay, what we'll do, we'll play Evo. And then we can use Trial of the Grasses in the event that the opponent destroys Fifion. But because we have Peter Sargilvin, this is an excellent counter. Skellige just wrecking nerds this season. That gets us the flexibility that we need. We can now use Leader ability to get the perfect targets. And what we'll basically be planning to do is putting Affin back on to melee. Affin will come out to melee row. We'll keep a third card. Looks like we're going to see Champion's Charge come down here to kill Evo, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. The endless removal and tutoring from Skellige has not been fixed. I was quite disappointed with the patch for a lot of reasons. Nilfgaard missing out on a lot of love, but the fact that Skellige just continues to abuse is quite annoying. Here we'll go ahead and use Tactical Decision. we already have 3 Bloodthirsts and don't have a great way of fixing it, so not really any worries there. We missed Serret, which candidly is kind of the worst of all the options. We really needed Serret most of all, just for the damage from Letho, but we can use Lock with him at least. So we're going to go ahead and put back this Imperial Brigade, and we'll put back this Battle Preparation as well. But now we can play Artorias. Had we been able to play him before the Morvran, we would have gotten the Assimilate from the Morvran play as well. So we did miss out on 1 point there. This deck does run a little thin insofar as soldiers are, so not a ton of options. But we have a lot of point plays still left to make. Obviously, perpetual removal of Skellige is going to get annoying, but I think we'll be able to get some stuff in. Here our opponent does get Bloodthirst right away. I think they're probably lining up something, so we'll go ahead and lock that since it's 2 damage, and then we'll just go ahead and use Ox to lock down this longship. But as always, if you have suggestions or thoughts, please post those down in the comments. I love hearing what you guys think, what you would like me, what you would like to see me play. I always find that valuable. Here we'll just get this lockout, and then we can start getting Eskel Pathfinder going. And then Peter resets the power of any unit, so if Letho takes more damage, we can go ahead and use that on him. He is a nice thick boy, if you will, real curvaceous, you know what I'm saying? But no, I mean he's very buff now with these 8 points. Playing for 11 with a lock, if you get Serret and Ox to your hand, the odds of that was pretty low. And we also missed Cadaverine, which would have been really nice, but we are, as they say, where we are. I have not seen other tutors come out, so I think we still will go for the Viper Witcher. There's a greater than 0% chance that there is a Blood Eagle still yet to be seen. The other option here is we could reset one of these units, but I don't want to do that until we can prevent a 3 Bloodthirst. So here we'll just go ahead and play out marching orders. That gets us a Viper Witcher. Not a great find, but better than nothing. And you can see it's still hanging in here pretty tight with Skellige, despite some good draws from my opponent and kind of good fortune on their side, and kind of fairly bad fortune on ours. Alright, so this represents a 5-point play. I don't really feel the need to play it yet, so we'll go ahead and get out Ciri. Still just waiting to see what else our opponent plays. If it's a Hemdall, for example, we're going to want to go ahead and get that reset on to the most damaged unit. And there we go. Lined up just as anticipated. So Morvran now represents a 6-point play. Still not enough to get us a win, but at least we tried. Alright, I think we'll try this again, and I'll try to make better choices with my Ciri. Madman Lugo's coming down for decent points there. But yeah, nothing was done to fix this Patricidal Fury, pure removal Bloodthirst deck. I was pretty bummed out about that. Skellige got a couple of nerfs, but nothing really significant. And they continue to rage. Yeah, I think that is seeing this now in my Twitch stream here, but I think that is going to be the new meta. I think just Skellige just continues to be extremely powerful, and the other factions still lacking in options. We can use Menno here. My preferred option with Menno is now available, so we'll go ahead and target him. We'll keep Imperial Brigade in hand and go digging see if we can't pull up. Viper Witchers are good, but we really were looking for Artorias. But this deck does have a lot of good draw consistency comparatively, as it is a very thin deck. You just, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I don't know what to tell you. Eskel could get close to passing here, but it would take a while. So I think instead what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and get out Menno. And this is my preferred option. You get out Menno, use Battle Preparation. He plays for 8 points and works as a good thin. So really, really great play on blue coin as well if you ever get stuck not knowing what to do on a blue coin play. I do think that this is a smart play from the opponent to use that Veil on Nithral. Just looking here to see what options we might have. I think here we'll just go for Imperial Brigade. We don't have a great way of dealing with him, so we'll just continue to work on our thins. But Carapace is quite a helpful leader ability. If we can also kind of get past this dominance by buffing up our Menno, that's another way that you can kind of continue the push up against a dominance deck. That not being the case, we have to be a little bit more thoughtful about what exactly we're willing to commit here. Still a decently close game, so I'm happy to continue to push up a little bit, but Viper Witcher makes for a good down round play. Yeah, just comments. But yeah, I 100% agree with the analysis of Skellige. It doesn't really matter if. I think that the problem, like I mentioned before, I think what they tried to do with this season patch is to sink all boats. And I think that what really needed to happen was to raise all boats. Nilfgaard just needed some better bronzes. It wasn't even that much of an ask. They just needed some better bronzes. Here, I'm just hoping to kind of force the brick on the Foglet for my opponent, which looks like we were able to do that. So Foglet kind of just falling flat for them. And I'm happy with that move. Again, I didn't really need to commit that round. We do get Ciri, so I'm pretty happy about that. Still looking for Artorias. Peter is going to be very necessary this game, I think. And while I normally would like to keep Assassination, I'm just looking for Artorias, but Ox is also a great option here. Alright, so seeing the Cave Troll come out. Oh, tough choices have to be made here. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is get out Cadaverine. Now, nice thing about Cadaverine is it's a terrifying prospect, but anytime I see a defender come down, I think it's a great option to get it down. Obviously, it can get removed, but now only by Karathi Heat Wave. So it is, you don't have to worry about Bomb Heavers removing the artifact. And it is a good trade in that vein. It is only a 7 provision cost card, so I do find it to be quite exceptional that way. We will need to think about how exactly we get rid of this Cave Troll. I'm thinking perhaps the best way to do that will be an Evo play. So we'll go ahead here and get out Evo. And we can just plan on playing a bunch of Witchers. But as always, if you have decks or what I'm really looking for this season is find a really weird card that you don't ever see played that you want me to make a whole deck based around. That's what I want. Give me those tough choices. Okay, here I think our opponent might be tapering off pretty quickly. So getting Parasite out works for me. We'll go ahead and get out Eskel. Eskel is going to keep pace with Beast, but not overrun him, hopefully. And this way we can be a little bit more patient. But Eskel gets us just to enough points that we can get out Ciri. and still carry this round if our opponent decides to fold it in. Not sure what they're going for. The banish. I guess really concerned that Evo might come back. That's fine with us. Here we can go ahead and play down Letho. Will do 3 damage. Then we can go Serret. Then we can go Trial of the Grasses. Then we can play Peter. So it's kind of a slow uptick here. I'd prefer to play it in a different round. So I think... I just don't know if our opponent is carrying any Purifies. This is a very interesting play from our opponent here. We'll still both have three units, so it's kind of fine with me. They're dead already. We could try to exchange here for a tactic card. We probably should have just used that Cadaverine to get rid of the 4. But not all of us can be geniuses. Well... Keltalist does cause a lot of problems here. Well, I think we'll just spam 5s. With Heatwave gone, Purify could cause problems. But yeah, that misplay will hurt. Again, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Make sure to use your Cadaverine. There's the Purify. And they're tied for dominance right now, so it is what it is. But now we have the same number of units. I think here I'm actually going to use Trial of the Grasses as a 7-point play on Serret and keep unit numbers tied. Forcing my opponent to make some tough choices. But at least we retain card advantage. Ox is somewhat useless at this point. This is actually fun. He gets value and sacrifices himself for the kingdom. This is pretty great, actually. I am not a fan of the Keltalist decks. I think... they're too knowable at this point. Everybody kind of knows how they're played, and they're just a bit clunky. I don't know what my opponent's thinking here. But I'm gonna wager a bet that whatever their choice is, it's not a very good one. So they use a leader charge, so we here need to make up for several points. We're gonna lose our 5-point character, so we're gonna go ahead here and use Menno. Oh, we lose a 3, so we go down to 28, 29, and keep one other one. So yeah, here we're gonna just go ahead. Use Menno. Ooh, Hunting Pack actually works fantastic as a next option. We'll put Offenbach, one of these Hunting Packs, and I just don't think Ox is going to be all that valuable. So we do have to make a play here, so we'll get out Hunting Pack, and that should bury our opponent in our plays. We still have Fifion. They've used Heat Wave. Oh, hey, and thank you so much for those of you who joined me on Twitch. Slav Squirrel is one of my biggest fans, one of my first subscribers, and is a moderator, so thank you for your work as doing that. And again, if you have not joined us on Twitch, please do. It's always a riot. Viper Witchers are wholly useless. And we will get Artorias here, who plays for 3 points. Assassination probably be valuable. I don't think there's any cards that are really better here, so we'll just take this. So this way with marching orders, we get out Artorias, who is going to get us a little bit of value. And here's what we'll do. We'll actually get out Impera Brigade. Even though Viper Witcher would get rid of something, I can now use Fion to target Impera Brigade. And we get 2 Assimilate spot procs with Artorias, making sure that we get as many of those as possible. But I think we're going to see other cool plays come out. And who said the Ox was going to be useless? Just kidding. I did. I know. It was me. Yeah, Assassination is going to find, at worst, 4 points of value if we just wait to play it last. I think the Arc Spore here could prove a little problematic, so we'll go ahead and get this out. We get 2 armor out on 2 of the units, so when the Arc Spore dies, there has a 50-50 chance of finding 0 value. I think we've just out-tempoed our opponent here. Oh, Neuromancy, digging, finding a Barghest. That was really the best thing you had left in your deck. That's the problem with Keltalist decks, in my opinion. There we go, finding no value. Just go ahead and smack Eskel. And there it is. Get the W. So, I know a lot of people have been raging about these Keltalist decks and how great they were, but I think we pretty handily dealt with that. So I think this is certainly a competitive deck. I think there still needs to be more done with Nilfgaard in order to be ultra competitive, but we'll get there. Until next time, though, good luck on the path. Get out there and keep on Gwenting.